This week we will be reviewing Kathryn Bigelow's new political thriller, A House of Dynamite. We'll be chatting about what we've been watching and playing this week, and we will reveal how many hours Phil has put into Hades 2. Stick around. Hello, welcome to Middle Age Geeks. I'm one of your hosts, Daz, and I'm joined as always by my trusty co-host, Phil. How are you doing, buddy? It's been a good week, good weekend of football. Happy days.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Good weekend. I was at a thing on Friday. I'm not sure I told you, a Faulty Towers dinner thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was good crack. Cool. Family and stuff. And it was, I thought it was going to be like a train wreck. I was like, this will be one of these things we'll tell stories at for years about, you know.
Yeah,
but they were actually really good. It's just a small little troupe they put on, and it was in the hotel down the road, and they play it out as if you're in Faulty Towers, you know, the hotel. And so they're going around doing bits the whole time, different bits from it. But your man who was playing Basil Fawlty was brilliant. So was your man doing Manuel. I think they were just good crack. Food was good. It was about 3 hours, over 3 hours. It was just, it was just good fun. Yeah, really good fun. And apart from that, just enjoying, like yourself, enjoying not being miserable about football for once.
Yeah, it's amazing. The first time in like 10 years. We've won 3 in a row, and Liverpool lose, Man City lose. Just like, happy days. I'm good. Yeah, it's kind of ramping up to Halloween this side. Halloween costumes, costume shopping and stuff like that, which is always fun. My daughter wants to go as a zombie police officer, which I tried to kind of maneuver very subtly into her just dressing up as Shaun of the Dead. It wasn't happening because it's an easier costume to make. So, I didn't realize I would have to fucking be buying police fucking outfits in my lifetime. Fucking 40 quid for a police costume. But before we get stuck into it, there's a bit of feedback we'll get through on YouTube. I am, which is a cool fucking handle. He got in touch saying he loves the show and he listens to it every week on his commute. So, thanks for that.
Cheers for that.
But he asked us if we had played Alan Wake because he's getting stuck into that. And I replied briefly on YouTube and just said, I played the first Alan Wake for maybe about an hour or so. I can't remember. It was so long ago. I don't know why I bounced off it, but then I did play Alan Wake 2. I know you did as well, but I predominantly play games late at night because it's when the kids go to bed. So with earphones on, so I don't wake them. So and I was doing well with Alan Wake 2. Got a good maybe 3 hours into it before it started getting really creepy, and the audio design is just like, no. So unfortunately, I'll never get through that. But
I'm a big fan of fucking awesome. Yeah, I think that was my game of the year.
No, play it. It's fucking amazing. It's just.
I'm pretty sure that was my game of the year when we did our roundup.
Was it?
I thought it was absolutely incredible.
And you played the first one?
Yeah, I loved it. Well. And but I only kind of bounced off the first one really. So I kind of went back and did a recap of it because afterwards actually. But they're very different games. I absolutely love the second one and the DLC, and then there's the just the way it looks, the sound, a whole lot of it, and it just fucking throws you in. That's why I'm sure you're going to be shitting yourself when all of a sudden you're in the kind of the morgue or whatever in the dark.
Yeah, it's just
like, I was like, this is awesome. Dad is probably shitting himself.
There's no preamble. It's just like, get straight in. Fucking
I think actually it's on if you have PlayStation, whatever, the monthly games thing. I think until the 7th of November, it's free to download on there. So, 100%. Yeah, great call. Because I really, really enjoyed that game.
Yeah, happy days. Some more feedback regarding our divisive opinions on the movie last week. We got Alan from Dublin said he absolutely loved it. He was Team Phil. Said loved all about it. He understands, that it failed in certain aspects, but he just really, really enjoyed it. And then Davey B, I think he's from Manchester, said, Team Daz, he's thought it was absolute fucking dog shit. It's like, so that was good. We did an online poll, I think, on YouTube as well, and that was 50-50 split.
I was surprised only actually after I was editing like that. I like you had said, thought a lot of this was effects, with the dream sequence and stuff. But Scott Derrickson was saying you'd be very surprised how much of this really was filmed on Super 8.
Oh wow!
So loads of that stuff was actually shot on Super 8, which is
that's great.
That was cool. I'm sure it's not going to change your. I'm sure it's not going to change your.
I love it now. It's amazing. I'd like to see behind the scenes of that actually, and some of the ways they went about that. Yeah. And then final bit of feedback was from Daryl, friend of the show, good friend of ours, was asking if we were going to Horrorthon in Dublin this weekend. I think he goes a lot of the time, and I have a couple of friends that go all weekend long, and I don't know how many fucking movies they're cramming in, like 5-6 movies a day. But that's
actually where I saw Barbarian.
First time. Way, was it? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do they show stuff before there's a general release as well?
I'm pretty sure that was the first. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one was a new one. And it's cool because it's just a small little, it's such a small little theater. And then my buddy I was with, Shane, he wanted to have a few pints, and of course you can have booze, so he was fucking happy as Larry having his pints watching it. Like, but it's good crack, the Horrorthon. I don't have a day or 2 days to dedicate to be there to just watch movie after movie. I'd love to.
Yeah, I was surprised, and you mentioned to me that Irreversible was showing at it, which is a terrifying movie in its own right, but horror. It's horrific, but it'd be a strange choice for a horror movie. And my friend my friend who had never seen it and loves good, bad, and in different fucking horror movies, and he saw that and he's just like, yeah, not for me, a bit too weird and intense, and
it's Gasper now, man. That's what he does.
You know what he's getting. But yeah, Horrorthon to me is my idea of absolute hell. So one being subjected to a few horror movies while doing this podcast is great, but to spend a fucking weekend doing all of them, no, thank you. Let's get stuck into some news, which there's kind of fuck all of. Any news on your side?
Nah, mate. No, I got fucking nothing. I haven't. I kind of had a pretty kind of keeping my head down kind of week, and wasn't really paying attention. Nothing that jumped out at me. There's probably shitloads of news, but nothing that jumped out at me. What about yourself?
There's only 2 bits. I was hoping it'd be nice to just get a few trailers every week, kind of getting into a kind of a busy period, but the only trailers I was like Predator Badlands released the international trailer, which always just is a final kind of throw of the dice, and it's kind of an action heavy trailer. It's a lot of the same kind of plot themes and story beats and all that, but it looks like this is going to be absolutely fantastic or a colossal letdown. But it just looks great. And just one other actual bit of casting news: there's rumors that Joe Kosinski's Miami Vice remake, reboot, whatever, casting news on that is Austin Butler and Michael B. Jordan are in talks, which you'd imagine that is just lock them in, pay them what they want. Because I was looking at that and just going, oh, that's fucking good. Because there was rumors after Caught Stealing when that came out, and Austin Butler was kind of showcasing his acting chops again. Straight away, you're just going, yeah, fucking hell. The two of them would just be absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I think that'd be great crack.
Like I liked Michael Mann's, was it? Colin Farrell, Jamie Foxx. Yeah, it was just I thought that was great, but it just kind of disappeared into the ether. Like after a few weeks, it just disappeared. No one really watched it, didn't make any money. So hopefully this one does better and just set it in the fucking 80s, man, please. So yeah, with that out of the way then, no news at all. Well, let's get it stuck into what we've been watching and playing. So, Philly, how many hours have you put into Hades 2?
Actually, I've been playing a completely different game this week.
Oh, shit.
No, I haven't. No, I've still been playing Hades. Still, I'm still playing Hades. I have put an ungodly amount of hours into it. I'm not actually going to mention how many hours on the podcast. It's
more than 10.
Oh, a lot more.
200.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not even sure at this point if it is. It's on the Switch. Like, I swear, if this was on a console, I wouldn't. Like a PlayStation, Xbox, PC, whatever, I wouldn't. But just the fact that I can have the Switch wherever I'm going, if I'm in fucking cooking, waiting for it to cook, I've got the thing in my hand. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's even if the football's on the background, I can have the Switch and play Switch while I'm watching. It's perfect game for that. Actually, do you know what? Just on that topic, because I was enjoying it so much, and I've finished it, and I've done so much of the end game stuff, the whole lot of them. Yeah. Not even sure if I have anything left to do. I said, oh, fuck it, maybe I'll go back and replay the first one because it's been a few years. Dirty Nintendo bastards. Like, it's €25 on the shop for that game. Like, that game's what, 5-6 years old, is it? Is it 2010, I think that came out?
2020.
Sorry, 2020. You mean? Sorry.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So
pandemic time. Yeah.
Yeah, like so 5 years old, and they're charging only $5 or less than it is. It's fucking unreal. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Nintendo are such bastards.
That'll be €25 for the next 15 years.
But I would get that if it was Nintendo first party, because you know what they're like. But Hades isn't their game. You know, it's not a Nintendo first party game. Dirty feckers. Anyway, that's my rant over. Watch wise, I actually watched a movie that I'm not sure if it's new or if it was out last year, maybe, the Bone Lake. It's a horror, you can probably tell by the name. But it's kind of like
a romantic comedy.
It's kind of like horror comedy, and it's not great. It's a bit of fun. But it's only, I'm only going to bring it up to mention like that. I've seen so many horror movies, right? I think I've seen everything that could possibly happen to a human being. But like in the opening of the credits of this, a dude gets shot through the scrotum with a crossbow arrow, and you actually get a front-on view of cock and balls and an arrow going. And then him from behind, he's just bare arse, and an arrow sticking out, and he just falls over, like, which is wild. Like, because he's full nudity. Then this is the opening credits, and then for the rest of the movie, when there's sex, right now it's going on, not one other bit of nudity throughout the rest of it. I was like, if you're going to show cock and balls in the opening, I'm pretty sure you don't have to PG the rest of it for us.
Set the tone, like you set the bar. Come on.
It's a bit, cock. Yeah, it's a bit of fun. But yeah, no, that's all for me. What about yourself? What have you been getting into?
It's hard to get my train of thought after I'm trying to visualizing fucking exploding fucking cock and balls. What have I been playing and watching? I have, watching wise, kind of fuck all. I've gotten into a little bit of a rut now with the kids where I'm watching movies with Alman K-pop Demon Hunters. I actually had to fucking sit through and watch that, and just like, oh my God. It's got a few catchy tunes, gotta say. But like, you're just going, Christ almighty, please don't. I don't want that to be a thing. But my son, who's not even 2 yet, and he is just fucking mad about Superman now. He just... His one of his first kind of phrases is like, Dad, watch Superman, just pointing at the TV. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. When it was on anyway, but like, So I watched that, the first 15 minutes of that about 100 times this week. I tried to watch that Charlie Sheen documentary somebody had recommended to me.
Oh, yeah.
Last week.
Charlie Sheen,
it's in two parts. And it starts off pretty good, like he's not shying away from fucking anything and being very Charlie Sheen, but not like, because the last memory I have of Charlie Sheen is that kind of winning and all that kind of interview shit. Just, I don't really want to sit through that. But he does look like he's going deep into the madness. But I got about 20 minutes in. It was pretty enjoyable, but it's that or play some games, and it's just like, I'm not really going to spend 3 hours watching Charlie Sheen. So it might be a kind of a bit part thing to get through, because I think it'd be pretty interesting to hear some of the untold stories, because some people have said to me, like, yeah, some of the shit that he's done and taken. It's just like, surprised he's fucking alive.
Oh, so wasn't he like locked himself in a hotel room with like porn stars and stuff, just getting, yeah. That's a life. That's a life.
But playing wise, apart from playing a bit of Ghost of Yotai, kind of not so much stalled in it, but I'm not playing as much as I was. But that's because I was recommended, Damien Allen, friend of the show, he's always recommending new games every week, which is great. And this, I don't know if you've played or heard of this, like Ball X Pitt. I don't know how, like it's either called Ball Pit or the title has ball and then a cross pit. And it's like this roguelike block breaking kind of ball collecting base building game.
All right.
It's like a Breakout. Remember that game where you have the little thing at the bottom and you're bouncing balls up into tiles to get rid of them?
Yeah.
It's like that, but there's hordes of enemies coming down from the top of the screen, and you are a little dude firing fucking load of balls up at them, and enemies drop gems and stuff like that, and you can upgrade the amount of balls you can have. So you can have fireballs and earthquake balls and stuff like that.
Is it on all consoles, or what is it on?
It's on everything but the Switch 2. So I'm actually playing it on Xbox, because I didn't get rid of my Game Pass, because they didn't increase my thing at all. I got an email about it, but then, and I left it to renew, and I was like, okay, I left it a few days, and then got another email, and I went to cancel it and just kind of go, it looks, to stop sending me fucking emails about it. And it said, no, for $17.99 you can renew it. So I said, I'm going to hold on to Game Pass, because The Outer Wilds 2 is out next week. So I'd like to get stuck into that before I get rid of thing. But yeah, no, this game, it would be a perfect, like I'll buy it again on Switch too, because it's fucking mad. It's one of those one more go kind of games. Like when you eventually get defeated, you go back to like building a base and building kind of houses and just doing fucking 5 minutes of stuff just to get new characters and bits and bobs, and then you get back in to do another run. And it's after about 10-15 minutes, it just gets you hooked into it. And it's just like, it's kind of madness and addictive madness. And you are kind of playing it going, I think this is really good, but I'm not sure if I'm just addicted to something like playing Snake on an old Nokia phone or something where you're just addicted to keep on playing. But it's great because like, every run is different and you're upgrading. You can hold 4 different balls at the same time, and it's fireballs and lightning balls. But then the key mechanic is you get fuse upgrades every now and then where you can fuse balls together, like you can lightning ball and flame ball.
See, for someone who hasn't seen this, I have fucking no idea what to picture in my head. You're gonna have to put some sort of video transposed over here as well for our watchers, because I have fucking no idea. You know, when you get balls and you can fuse them, you go, what the fuck are you on about?
Like when you see it, like it's just the first clip I saw of it, I didn't know what was going on. Like someone sent me a screenshot or a video, and it's just like, what's happening here? It's just fucking like this 25 balls just flying all over the place. I was like, do you have to catch them? And but it's pretty good. Yeah, I'm quite addicted to it. But because it's on Xbox, I'm just not playing that much. It's up in the office, so when I'm not working, I'm not playing it, and when I'm supposed to be working, I'm playing it. So but it's really fucking good. Check it out if you haven't. Ball X Pitt or Ball Pit, whatever the fuck's called. But yeah, that out of the way, let's get stuck into the main event. A House of Dynamite. Take it away, Philly.
Yeah, cheers, Daz. Yeah, it's A House of Dynamite, Kathryn Bigelow's new movie. For those of you new to the podcast, we were going to go through a very spoiler-free discussion about the movie and what we liked, what we didn't like, and then we'll have a few minutes of spoilers at the end, but we will give you plenty of warning. So yeah, Daz, I'll do the usual. I'll just give a bit of info about it, and then we can start diving in. It's a, I suppose, military apocalyptic political thriller. It's hard to give an exact title for it. By Kathryn Bigelow, written by Noah Oppenheim. It's the cinematography is by Barry Ackroyd, who also worked on The Hurt Locker, but he's done some good stuff as well with like Captain Phillips, United 93, When the Chicks to Berry. He's a great cinematographer. Cast is insane. It's a load of actors that I absolutely adore as well that are in. From just smaller parts. So like obviously you've got the big ones: Idris Elba, Rebecca Ferguson. But then to have like Jared Harris, Moses Ingram, Tracy Letts, Willa Fitzgerald. Your man Gabriel Basso, I think, is the guy from The Night Agent. But Jason Clarke, Greta Lee, Caitlin Deaver, and a whole bunch of others. It's a really, really good cast. And I think the budget was around 30 million, but it was difficult to find. There's only a couple of sites that were saying that, so I'm not sure if that's actually accurate or whether they have one. And I know that it made fuck all during its theatrical run. Like it made 180 grand or something like that.
I think it's limited release.
It's very, very short and limited. Yeah. So it's as I said, it's a political thriller told in 3 acts, each from a different perspective of the same potentially apocalyptic event. So, Daz, why don't you give me your overall view before we dive into specifics? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
Yeah, I kind of loved it. I didn't know too much about it going in. Like, didn't see the trailer or anything like that. But loved it. I like that kind of structure in a movie. I like some people bounce off that when you're watching the same thing again, but from multiple angles. I just thought Kathryn Bigelow is a master just building tension and creating really dramatic, kind of believable scenarios. I think like the cast, we'll get into the cast in a bit. It's an insane ensemble cast, and the fact that you've got incredible actors turning up for fucking 1 or 2 scenes at some moments, like it's ridiculous. But Rebecca Ferguson is incredible. Like watching her makes me want to watch so much more of her stuff, because I really, apart from Mission Impossible and a few bits, I really haven't followed her at all. Like she's in the Silo, right? Silo?
Yeah, she's Silo. Yeah,
it made me want to watch that show straight away. But Gabriel Basso, I didn't know him from anything, and I thought he was one of the standouts as the president's advisor. He was fucking excellent. And Idris Elba, is Idris Elba, like his voiceover part for most of it, but like he's fantastic. But yeah, cinematography was fantastic, just capturing the madness of what's happening, but also nice intimate moments. And yeah, I just really thought it was great. So like, it is slightly jarring when it does jump the first time it cuts to that second storyline. There is a loss of momentum, and you're kind of starting again, and that is always going to be a little bit jarring. But yeah, no, I just really, really liked it. It reminded me that it's kind of like this movie is the first 20 minutes of a more action-packed political thriller blockbuster, summer blockbuster or something. This is like the first 20 minutes of that before something happens, dragged into I think it's 2 hours runtime, but
just under it.
Yeah. I like when a movie that's just essentially about people in rooms talking to other people on phones and screens is as engaging as it is. But yeah, well, I was pleasantly surprised. But Kathryn Bigelow is when she's on, like, for me. How about you?
I think we're going to have to go to couples counselling, Dad. This is 3 weeks in a row now that we're not on the same page. I thought this was average, man. I think some of the stuff that you're talking about there, for me, didn't work. Like I loved the first part of it, the first act, that pace built up. But I think if you're going to show stuff from different aspects, which I also love, seeing things from different people's perspective, you need a bit more of what's happening behind them. Like, for a lot of this, because they're all on video calls and all the rest of it. So it's like, I've already seen most of this just on a different screen. Like, I'm not seeing enough of it to see what's the different thing that you can go, oh, that's why they're not getting it. I mean, everybody's giving each other the same information. So for me, that kind of took away from it a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong, you can see shitloads of research has gone into the protocols and all the rest of it, which is great. But I don't think that we get a payoff at the end of this. You know, like that we've flooded it with great actors, great character, like great character actors. And the thing is, it's great to go, oh, Jesus, what a huge star that only gets a few minutes on screen. But because of that, so many people, we barely get anything. Like, there's no time for anybody to get an arc, really. I would say, like, Moses Ingram's character, the FEMA character, she's absolutely pointless. There's no reason for her part at all. The only one I felt I connected with, say, emotionally, who I felt really bad for, was Jared Harris. I thought his character background is heartbreaking, what this man has gone through, and in a very short space of time. You know, he's a joy to watch. I just think amazing. That for me, like, if you want to, like, keep the pace of the first part of the movie, and if you want to jump to a different thing, do it something completely different that they don't know what's going on. Like, give us a completely different scene, or give them maybe a longer countdown, because this is basically the same 20 minutes in each part. But I'd like to see, because if that whole first part, you've built up so much tension, and then you just cut it off. And then when you cut to the next part, which is it's starting, but from a different guy's perspective, I've already know what's happened. I already know what's built all the tension, all the exciting stuff. So I have to see that three times, and to get that 3 times, and then to not get we'll talk, but I don't want to spoil the ending.
Yeah.
It's essentially like the movie version of Blue Balls. Like, you're building it up to it multiple times, and then just leaving it hanging. Fucking assholes. I just think there was so much great stuff in here to make a much, much better movie than it was. I ended up just being, but towards the end, I was like, I just fucking end it. Like, it didn't work for me. And I like you, I love the thing from different perspectives. It can be really, really cool, really interesting. But for this, it just didn't work for me. But yeah, this is going to be another one to have a nice conversation through. We'll stick on cinematography, because I mean, I loved, like, some of the shots here. There's one with the actor's name who I forgot to fucking take down. He's Hispanic guy. He's the one who's in the kind of missile intercept base. He's the boss.
Oh, Anthony Ramos.
Yeah.
He's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, there's a scene when he goes outside the building and they're just crashing at it, like fucking sundown kind of.
In Alaska or whatever that base is.
Yeah,
looks
it's
amazing.
Absolutely gorgeous. I was just giving her a couple of seconds of that. Like, it's such a beautiful shot. I get it. They probably had probably only had a certain amount of takes or whatever to get it at that hour, but it's just beautiful shot. There's a good few things like that, especially the movement around the office and stuff that are really, really good, because you're just in a computer room for the most part. But a lot of the really cool stuff. Yeah, to make that interesting, a lot of it really cool is them all the security and everything that they have to go through is really is really cool as well. It just is really showing you like almost like having a peek behind the scenes of where they are, the kind of secrecy that's involved.
Comes across like a documentary, the way it's kind of shot. Like, I kind of like that. It's not as like, it's kind of that handheld thing. And this guy, as we were saying, just did a lot of like Paul Greengrass's stuff. And it's just like that shaky handheld. But sometimes there's a sweet spot, sometimes it's dialed up to 11 and it's just like, you just don't need that. Maybe in Jason Bourne movie or something like that. Yes, you do kind of need it. But sometimes if it is, you'll see in some movies where it's just people talking in a room and some people it's just a little bit too shaky sometimes, but in this, I think they just got it spot on. It's hard to make people just sitting in a room to get that tension, because you could very easily just lock off two tripods, and just shoot coverage from over the shoulder of people, but it's just constantly moving from that person and just pans across to someone on the phone there, and I just like the way it was building and kind of ramping up the tension. And
it actually reminded me a little bit of a really good, really good when 24 was really good, when you didn't, doesn't have to be Jack.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, you don't have to have Jack Barrett out in this room. You just see what's going on if they're trying to get stuff done. And it's just that kind of jump around the office and someone's trying to patch into this and get different information from different places. All they're doing is fucking sitting in this office, but you're fucking
looking
rich,
at each other,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Just looking. And that's the thing.
When it's done well, that's great. And I said, for the first act, I was totally dialed in. I was like, man, this is fucking quality. I think it just lost me after that a little bit.
But I think more so when it's when it is that kind of, like, as you were saying, when you see them in their each of the kind of characters. There's a lot of kind of main characters in it, ensemble, but you see them in their daily lives, and then when they're going into wherever I can't remember all the names of all the different fucking bases and fucking acronyms and just bananas. But there's moments then where there's just when the kind of panic starts to set in, where they think it's a drill, and then it just kind of ramps up, especially in that first 40 minutes, whatever it is, with Rebecca Ferguson. That was just incredible. And there's moments cinematography wise where it's just the camera captures the hectic nature of it, but then it'll just pan up or just turn to or just cut to a shot of Rebecca Ferguson or someone else, just their reaction to information that's come across, and they're just looking at everyone else, and it's just that stillness of just show, and it's all in the actor. Then it's all just like, how can they convey, like, everyone, there's so many great performances here where the camera's just right up in their face and they have to convey that, like, no, let's be cool, but in their eyes you can see there's just like, fuck, what the fuck is this actually happening, kind of stuff. And the first 40 minutes is 100% is the strongest part of the movie, and we'll get into it, but like, when it cuts away from her, I was like, fuck, and then we get the next part, which is the same thing again, but it's more the same. But I wish we got more of the guys in Alaska, because it starts with that, and it starts so strong visually. I was just like, fuck, this is gorgeous. Like, that
really reminded me of that. Did you ever see Eye in the Sky? Decent enough movie. No. It's kind of, but it's similar kind of thing with the room. Like, they're on base and they're drone pilots. It's Aaron Paul and God, I can't remember the female actor's name. Anyway, just two of them in the room, and it's the whole political stuff that goes on in the background about whether or not they can take out the target, and you have to get, it's just shown all the say-so that has to happen. You have to go through this person, that person, all the protocol. So it's similar in those kind of lines, but so much of it is based on the two of them in this room, and it's like that. They've got great tension they build in it. Now, the movie's not incredible, but I think it does something similar in this. You can see they do quite well at that start part, building you see the relationship fairly quickly between the three of them, what it's like. Fucking Ramos is a bit angry, and then the other actor and the other girl are kind of a little bit of flirting and talking, and he's the messy guy. And it's all, they actually do that pretty quickly, pretty well. I enjoyed that as well. And I think that those moments of just the first bit of realization, I think in these type of things they're always the most interesting for me. When the first of, oh my God, did you just say it's a nuke? Did you just say whatever? And I thought that they played that quite well.
And there's a lot of tense moments where people, again, just standing in a room looking at a screen, waiting for something to happen, then it doesn't happen or something. They're like, okay. And it's just, I couldn't believe how that I would have loved I don't know if this even got a release in Ireland. I would have loved to have seen this in a cinema, because I think it would be easier.
Like Lighthouse or some smaller place, maybe. I feel like they might have shown it.
I think it would be, because for like watching something on a couch as opposed to a cinema, you're going to be a bit more locked in a cinema, or for me anyway. But I was totally like locked in completely for the first, let's say 40 minutes of that. A little bit of a struggle attention wise after that. It was a bit of kind of pausing and on my phone and stuff like that. And I wish I was in a cinema so I could give it more kind of attention. But yeah, a lot of my love for this film is the first 40 minutes. But I still liked the rest of it.
The performances, like you said, Rebecca Ferguson is just fucking fantastic and everything. Because again, as I said, these are small, 3 different parts, and there's not everybody gets a piece in all 3 acts. You know what I mean? Or if they do, it's fucking very, very small, minimal, like the theme. Yeah. But it is all down to the performances, and that's what I really enjoyed from it. Was like Rebecca Ferguson is fantastic. Her reaction and everything when the realization sets in of what is happening, and how with all of this, how still woefully underprepared, and that, you know, as I mentioned, like it's 50 billion we've spent on this, like, and you know, it's a 50-50 chance. It's a coin toss of whether these rocket things will work, and it's I don't know. There's a little bit of me who got that. Like, I mean, before we get into the performance, there's a little bit of me that felt that it was a little bit, I don't know, political, like propagandist almost. Like they're justifying the amount that America spends on money, but also showing just how just these people are all fallible, and they all have their own families, and we all make mistakes, and that, and it's just it's real.
But they're all good people. Everyone in the White House staff is really good.
They're all positive, such good people with families, and and there's no one going, look, you know, fucking strike back immediately, or there's like, it's real. Everybody's lovely, and everybody's like, we're the military, we're the good guys. For me, it was a little bit, and I get it. I mean, it's a thing, but it was a little bit on the nose.
Yeah, because I think there is one line in there that I thought they would have run with a bit more, because the basis for the premise of it that I think is the most interesting part is, and that works for the kind of back and forth of what do they do if this thing hits, and like what's their reaction. It's not just we fire back. It's kind of like, well, we don't know where it originated from. So it's on the Russians trying to be like, we don't know, it's somewhere around that area, which is the central conceit to the madness that follows. But that whole thing where someone said that, like, the fact that we didn't, like, you know, how did we not know where it was fired from? And someone said that, like, something missed it, or something was redirected.
Yeah,
and someone mentioned like if something like that, like, could that be someone just threw something out there that, like, could that be that we've been compromised in any way? And you're kind of going, ooh, you could run with that, but then the story, and there's too much to go into. Then
I think you're talking a whole movie would have to be centered around that.
It's nice that they said that, but it is kind of, that's the only bit where you're just like, oh, there might be something amiss here. Everything else is like, we're all united and gung ho. There's no asshole commander. Everyone's just like, yeah, let's do it. Go America.
Yeah,
but
it's
funny.
Which is great. I you know, in which I've mentioned Willa Fitzgerald a billion times on this. I'm not sure if you've watched stuff with her in it. She's a reporter, kind of one who Rebecca Ferguson talks to near the start.
Oh yeah.
She's the CNN thing around her neck. That's her.
Yeah.
So I was delighted to see her, even though it's only a smaller part. I love her.
Yeah.
But just the small little bits. I mean, I can't really say that anybody was off. That everybody even really played up, even to their small little parts, like Caitlin Deaver's part in it. You know, it's minuscule. But you know,
it's good. Like,
but you feel it coming across. You can feel the relationship between her and the fellow that's with her, the conversation that she's having with her dad over the phone. But yeah, I thought his definitely his story, his little background was the one that hit me the most. You know, because everybody else it's my partner and my child, or my partner and my pregnant thing, and everybody's background was very kind of similar. But his one was absolutely tragic, like, you know,
heart-wrenching. But like there's one scene with Rebecca Ferguson where, I won't go to spoil it, but she just pulls a little toy dinosaur out of her pocket or something in the middle of this being fucking, serious and do my job or whatever. And she just like almost breaks down, has to turn away to break. And you're just like going, that's just masterful. It's just masterful what you're watching. She was just incredible. That scene for me was one of the most heart-wrenching.
Was there anybody else besides them that kind of stood out for you performance-wise?
But Jason Clarke, because I still, every time I see him, I'm reminded of fucking Terminator. Genesis, whatever the fuck that shite was. And I can't, that was so bad and it's so fucking burnt into my memory that every time I see him, I can't remember if he's done any other movie. It's just like, oh, you were in that really bad movie. And just like, and even he wasn't that bad in that movie, but it was nice to see him bit older as well and just like really fitting into that kind of role, like the kind of boss and fucking some kind of, what is it, the White House fucking Central Command or whatever it is. But he's brilliant. But again, everyone you pick, they have maybe about 5 to 10 minutes max. And some people literally have scenes, and it's so nice to have this caliber of actor to kind of throw around an ensemble. And it's like, yeah, you're getting 2 scenes. I have you for 2 days. You have you for 3 days. It's just really well put together in terms of that cast. It's just fucking brilliant.
I actually wondered if they were going down the road of the infiltration thing because of that one guy who, I don't think we get his name, but he's trying to fix the TV. He's like the repairman and the screens are flickering and stuff. It's like, oh, maybe there's a fucking virus or maybe someone's did something. And then when we heard Greta Lee mentions, China have been dabbling with AI and stuff, I was like, ooh, is that what they're going to say? Is the result? It's a very ambiguous movie as to what's the origin of this, possibly apocalyptic event and what actually happens at the end. It's so ambiguous. It really is left open to the viewer, which I'm fine with most times, but in this one not so much.
But it did get me thinking that like there's such a difference between this version of American military and political stand and where it is now. And you kind of go, imagine this movie just made with like Trump and his administration. It's a different fucking movie. But
it cuts when that's why the screen is black and you can't see out of when it finally cuts in. It's just Trump and his fucking and his wife fronts eating Cheetos on the couch or whatever.
Fire all the fucking nukes, press the red button.
Well, like I can't really fault Kathryn Bigelow with regards to, in general when it comes to directing. I think she's great. I just as I said, for me, I don't feel that it worked. I think it took a sting out of it for me.
Yeah. Did you see her last movie, Detroit? Because I hadn't fucking seen anything from her at all. And
no, I know the one. I watched some of the one that was on. Was it Code Zero or whatever the fuck that one that was on Netflix that she had done as well, and it was shite.
Like Detroit that she made kind of came out with a whimper and just disappeared, and a very limited theatrical run at all. But yeah, just kind of back with a bang for me in terms of her directing prowess. Anyway,
I wonder. Hopefully, maybe the next movie she gets is a bigger, not straight to Netflix thing, and see what she can do with. Because, I think from what I haven't gone into many reviews of this, but I know when this was first shown, the critics were going wild for it. Like, so I don't know if that's continued on, but they were. Yeah. The music is good. The music is quite. Again, a lot of it's because that first act you need when stuff like this. Same with 24. Any shows like it, if you're trying to build tension at something in such a small space like this, it has to be kind of frantic and thing. And it has that feeling of the real ticking clock and it building and building up. And I quite enjoyed actually the score to it. What about yourself?
Yeah, no, it didn't like. It wasn't too overpowering. I think like when you have. If it's got Christopher Nolan like Oppenheimer, as much as I loved it and people talking in rooms, the score is fucking really driving that fucking movie and it doesn't shut up. But it's brilliant. But in this, the score is propelling the scenes along nicely. I didn't notice it too much because I was caught up more in the what would you do in that kind of scenario. But it seemed to me like it was kind of just not run of the mill. That's doing it a disservice, but. What you would expect from a political thriller about people in rooms talking to other people on screen. It's just like, doing enough without drawing too much attention to it.
Well, that's what I think what they made a good choice of when and when not to use it like that. Like there's a lot of, as you said at the start.
Exactly.
When to just let it sit on Rebecca Ferguson's face, when to let it sit on Jared Harris when he's on the phone to his daughter, and it's just That's all we need. You don't need the music. Just
no more.
Take in the performance, take in the facial expressions, which a lot of it is what it is. So much of the stuff is over video phone or calls or whatever. And it's a lot of work the actors are having to do. And I think that's when it's at the best. They know when to use the score, but it's serviceable enough. I'm very wary of go any further without kind of talking about spoilers. Is there anything else that you want to say about it before we?
Well, I guess just in terms of like minor bits on the plot, I guess why I liked the plot is more so, I know because it does repeat like 2 or 3 times over the same 20-minute period. But for me, it was that it posed enough of a question of what would you do in response to this with the limited information you have? Because straight away you're thinking like, well, of course you're not going to retaliate because you don't know where it came from. But there was enough there from different sides where you're like, actually, yeah, it is a good argument from either side as to why you would do this or why you do plan A or plan B. And Idris Elba, when he comes into it, he really comes across as, and really like it's down to him to make that choice. And I think there was enough kind of tension, enough, you can't really put yourself in the shoes of these people because it's a fucking world you don't really know. But yeah, no, I just really enjoyed that aspect of the plot because there is that shift when it goes into the second kind of retelling of the 20 minutes where I did kind of like, start looking at my phone and just pause it, went to the toilet. There was that kind of, how do you get back into you've really cut the momentum. And it took me a while to get back up to speed. But then when I did, I was like, okay, I'm interested to see this from another point of view. But yeah, I can't really go into much more without going into spoilers. But that just worked for me, that it was intriguing because a lot of political thrillers you watch, it's not the central premise that you're really going, oh yeah, that really is that interesting. It's everything around it that you're kind of there for. But
I just think other movies have posed that question better, and like even thinking like the Sum of All Fears and all these things where you just you're kind of, we're on the precipice. What would you do? Because you can't possibly put yourself in the position that these people are in. It's especially here in fucking Ireland, where we, you know what I mean? So nobody wants to nuke us and we don't want to nuke anybody. We're grand, but it's you can't even put yourself in that position. I can't imagine the pressure or the emotions that it must go through to feel like you're at the precipice. You have the information before anybody else does. And then there's so much of it is like, can you tell the people? Can you tell somebody? Like if I knew, tomorrow that there was if you knew tomorrow someone was going to nuke Cork, would you? You have friends and family down there, and you're going, is there any point in telling them when you know that they've only got a minute to live? They can't get out of Cork. So do you let them live their last moment in fear, or do you is there any way in a minute's time they could get to somewhere that would be safe? Or what that panic must be like for people? And that stuff is great. I just think that it's been done better in different films, but for the most part, yeah. Like maybe let's stick a starring on it, and then we can jump over to some spoilers about it. So, what kind of star rating would you be looking at?
It's kind of 3.5 to 4, probably. I'd say 3.5, a really good 3.5 for me.
Okay, well, I suppose I'm not too much below you then. I'm just going to say 3 because of the performances, because of the cinematography. I thought the music was fine, serviceable, but yeah, loads of performances. The fact that Jared Harris has 10 minutes of screen time or something, and I was still thinking about he's the person I was trying to put myself in his shoes, with regards to the phone call that he has to make and the small bit of background we get about his wife and stuff. We don't get a massive amount, but he's the one I actually connected with and thought that was really, really good. And just, like you said at the start, to get these actors to sign on for what is a tiny bit of screen time is just great. Like they obviously, it's her incredible reputation, obviously. And I think that I'm not sure, as far as I know, I think this might be based on a book. But they had something like I think it's based in the book, but they had to kind of change it or something, like it's a series of books, but that's been done or the rights are owned by somebody else. So they had to kind of change it up and write it themselves. Okay, yeah. I remember reading something roughly about it. I'm not going to embarrass myself or pretend I know any more than that, but I'm sure one of our viewers can fill us in. Okay, but look, that's 3 from me and a 3.5 to 4 from Daz. So if you're leaving us there, thanks a million. Keep on liking and subscribing, and we'll see you on the next one. And if you're sticking around, we're going to have a quick chat through some of the spoilers. So yeah, like the spoilers part at the end is at the end that there is no ending. Like the ending is it's just we see them all going into what, I mean, it would lead me to believe that the nuke has gone off and hit. I mean, the fact that we get that overhead view of that bunker, the nuclear bunker, where, you know, all designated people are able to go to. And like, it's a cool enough shot. We see, you know, helicopters and stuff, one of those vertical takeoff landing things. And so that makes me believe that it probably nuke wasn't, you know, they said sometimes these things don't actually go off or don't activate. I assume it probably did if it's gotten to that stage. What do you reckon?
Yeah, like the thing I didn't like, I liked the fact that there is no ending. There's no like, oh, this happened, and then it's left to your own devices, and the whole central premise of it is, what would you do? It's still what you're thinking about after the movie. Like, if it did hit, what did they do? And that thing of like, do you wait and just hope that it was a mistake? And then that thing where people kind of get, you know, well, if you wait, then what if they fire 50 more and, you know, they know we couldn't hit theirs out of the fucking sky? So, you know, it is a really fucking, like, you can just imagine the madness if that actually happened. Like, what the fuck? I think that conveyed it. So I do think, yeah, it hit. But while I liked the ending, I didn't like how the end of the movie was edited. I thought it was, when, you know, I hate when movies end and you kind of go, oh, okay, that's it. And it wasn't from a story point of view. It was just kind of the editing. It just cuts to that bunker shot. She, the female lady is getting off the bus, and she's, you know, she's getting on the bus, and they're going.
Yeah, they're all being directed.
Bunker, and you get that, and then it cuts to a shot in Alaska with one of the guys coming out. Another great, lovely shot, but he's just like kneeling down or something, and then it just ends, and you're like, oh, okay. It just felt like there should be just a few more shots in there or something like that. It just felt it ended very abruptly, not more in a filmic way, an editing way, rather than story way. But I like that that they didn't show there's no action, or there's no like, oh, missile fucking coming down into the thing. I've seen some people online saying that, like, oh, there's no payoff. You want to see, you know, you're building up to this event. Let's see the fucking event. And it's like, I think that defies the purpose of the movie.
I don't need to see the event, but I would. The fact that we've built up to the point of, I'd like to know whether it happened or not. I mean, your reaction is kind of, the reaction is still going to have to be the same either way. I think that if it hits and it blows up, then you have to make a decision. If it hits and it doesn't blows up, you still have to make the same decision. Like, it's it's a difference between murder and attempted murder. They still attempted to nuke you. You know what I mean? So it's either they nuked you or they attempted to nuke you. Either way, these people, you have to make a decision on how you retaliate. Yeah. So I don't think it would have taken too much away to let us know that it hit, or to you know, to show someone from, you know, whatever, looking at a certain screen and seeing that everything from Chicago is now being knocked offline or something. I don't need to see people getting killed or buildings getting blown apart. I mean, fuck, we've seen that in. You go back and watch Independence Day if that's what you want to see. Like, it's. I don't think we need to see that, but I think I would have liked just to have a confirmation of whether it landed or not.
It's like the end of Cloverfield. Spoiler if you haven't seen Cloverfield, but like, yeah, where they're hiding underneath like the bridge or whatever, and you just see, and because it's found footage, and just like they just hold each other and just going, oh, I love you, and then it just goes and just cuts off, and you're like, fucking hell, that like a nuke has just destroyed them and killed everybody, and all you get is a camera going black. So fucking powerful. That would have worked with this as well, like a shot of people, because it's in the room, a shot of the screens or something, then suddenly just seeing live feeds go black, and then cut to black.
Something simple like that. But I mean, that's just a personal choice from mine. That's what I would have liked to see. I'm just going to, because I've harped on so much about it in the spoiler free section, the Jared Harris thing, like, that got me. Because like we kind of, you know, that his wife has passed, and it's strained the relationship between him and his daughter. And so his wife's only died recently. He doesn't really know, he doesn't even know his daughter is in a relationship when he speaks to her. And she's almost fobbing him off, like, I don't really want to talk now. And he's like, oh, is it serious? And he's crying, smiling, because he knows she's in Chicago and there's only minutes away. She can't get out of there. And so, as I was saying, like with you and, you know, your family in Cork, like, would you say anything? And he decides he doesn't. He knows in that moment she's happy. She's in a committed relationship with somebody, just and they're heading there. She's happy. So he just lets her go, and he's crying, smiling. She goes, "I'm just okay. I love you. Bye." And then we see when they walk in, they've got the chopper ready for him to go, and he just realizes, I've nothing else in this world. I've just I didn't tell my daughter. How am I supposed to live with it? Even though for me, he did the right thing by not telling her. He still has to sit with that, whether he did or not. You know, and so he just gets up, just walks straight off the building, and it's so unceremoniously just vroom, and he's thinking, what the people running, and it's just, and they don't do a big fucking talk afterwards of, oh my God, he's just jumped. They just, that's his part over. And I thought his whole part of the movie was just so intriguing and so heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was a nice kind of when you see what's happened, because earlier, like in the first 40 minutes, you hear something during the briefing, or when they're in the central command unit or whatever, where Rebecca first, and you hear something over comms or something. Oh Jesus, what are we doing? And people go, what? And somebody, I think Jason Clarke is like, keep going, whatever. And you are thinking, like, what was that over the radio? And then when you find out it was the people reacting to him jumping off the fucking building. But yeah, that was absolutely heart-wrenching. That and the Rebecca Ferguson thing I talked about earlier, where she's just like, because they don't have their mobile phones, because you have to put them into a lockbox or whatever before you go in.
Yeah.
And when she finds a reason, just tells her colleague, can't get through to people or whatever, like, get her phones out, and she just rings her husband. And in that moment of just panic and everything, she just get in the car and just drive west, goes, fast as you can, whatever, and just can't tell him anything else. Just like, just go. And he's like, what's happening? He's like, oh, bye. I got to get back to work. And it's just like this fucking steely character who's just kind of a really assertive and just really fucking cool, but she's just fucking teetering on the edge of just emotional breakdown. And like when she finds her,
she finds on her shoe on the way in, isn't it? He's hidden in her shoe, and she's gone through the scanner, and she pulls it, and she's kind of smiling to herself. Her kid hid a little dinosaur in her shoe, and it's lovely.
And she just kind of breaks down. Just like little moments of that were just like, it's great. It's nice to have that.
Can I ask you about because obviously I'm not huge on American sports, we have Tracy Letts' character, that general, I can't remember his name in it. He mentions multiple times like about this. Oh, did you see that ball game? And he mentions a certain player's name, is it Londis or something like that? And it's just that because he mentions it 2 or 3 times. I was like, is that important? Because this is obviously set in 2025. It's set in present day. They make a point of showing that it's the whatever 160 something thing of Gettysburg reenactment, which is apparently is 2025. So they're making a point of it. So I was wondering, was there any sort of significance there? Do you think that was?
No, I didn't pick up on it at all.
Okay, fair enough.
Mad. But but like Idris Elba, speaking of sports, like when he's just not on screen for the whole thing, you're just getting his voice. It's just very kind of iconic voice. And he's a strange choice for the president, but it kind of works. Idris Elba is just fantastic. But when you finally get to see him in his story, it's interesting enough. But the fact that his video is off because he's fucking at a basketball game, ladies basketball game and stuff. But there's a moment in that where he's meeting the players and doing all this, and someone's kind of going, we need to get him the fuck out of here. There's scenes in that where where the Secret Service or the fucking big dudes come and just go, you have to come, you're on the list to go to a bunker. And it's very forceful, like we'll take you by force. But when they're doing this to the president, they're just like, they're in this big giant fucking baseball arena, and it's like, it's imperative we need to get him out of here because there's an event, but maybe don't just fucking sprint in and grab him fucking and sprint out as fast as possible. Just like talk about, keeping it low key and just like not panicking anyone. If you're in that fucking stadium, you're just going, we're all going to die. So we're just dragging.
You would assume they would keep it quiet, like when
just get him, tell him get out of here.
Don't they have that famous thing about George Bush, whatever, being told and whispered in his ear after 9/11. I'm not sure if that's a real thing. It happened.
Oh, and he was reading
Caterpillar children's books and shit. Kids, or something along those lines. Where don't make a big fuss. That's just a general. Don't make a big fuss. As soon as we get outside, we'll rush it. But there's no one bombing that school that he's fucking, or that he's in the basketball gymnasium for, whatever the fuck it is.
It's a bit like that. Seems a bit fucking overkill.
Yeah, maybe it's just to try and ramp up a little bit of urgency if they felt it was lagging a bit, they might have just pumped it in for that reason. But what about the guy who was on the plane or helicopter or whatever with him? I don't know.
That was confusing when that happened. Yeah. There was like a kind of a misdirect, and it's almost like if you knew about military protocol, you would understand what's happening, because he's sitting waiting to go in to see the president, and the president's receptionist looking at him and looking down at the bag very suspiciously, and you're kind of going, what is this? Is this like in another movie going, is this some fucking suspicious guy with this bag or package, but obviously he hasn't snuck a fucking bomb in. It felt weird, and it's only until you see the rest of the movie where you're like, oh, she was looking down the bag because she's going, okay, he's this guy who has launch codes and all this kind of stuff. He's an important guy in terms of the fact that he's here. It means something's going down. It's just like I didn't kind of twig that. I thought they were really going off the rail, trying to introduce some kind of suspicion or some kind of fucking madness. But
I just thought their reactions were weird as well. Like the kind of, I don't know, like the last new, he starts blessing himself and all the rest of it, and he apologizes for stuff, and he's like, oh no, I just go to church and stuff, and it's real good old boy times and stuff. It's like, now you've lost me.
Like the Idris Elba thing, like if he wasn't in it, that part, that's where like a kind of a star comes off. It's just, it wasn't as intriguing. Like you get, like Idris Elba sells the fact that like this is, how the fuck do we make this decision? And he's talking to that guy in like on the jet with the bag and launch codes or whatever, trying to ask his opinion, and that just their interaction didn't really hold up in terms of the tension and drama that has preceded it.
Okay, cool. Well, look, I don't think I have anything else that I wanted to mention spoiler wise. I mean, just wanted to show how emotional I got, Jerry Harris, and I just love him. I just I know he's never
fantastic.
He's never the main man and stuff, but he's always fantastic. I think maybe Chernobyl's the only thing he's kind of major role in. Like he's the kind of the main focus, but anything he's in, he just brings so much to it. Like I absolutely love him. Even that disaster, like Lady in the Water. And Morbius.
How dare you speak that name? Wow. I've actually never seen Chernobyl, so I must check that out. That fucking got past me.
Then The Expanse, Jesus, like fucking, he's incredible.
The Expanse, he's amazing in that. Like he's so good in that.
The accent and everything is fucking dead.
Yeah. It's wild. It's like, is he Irish or South African? What's going on?
I think that's so great. I know this is off topic towards the end of our podcast, but I love that idea, that the fact that this is a whole separate entity that they're on, and so. Of course, they have a whole new accent. Yeah, of course they'd have mental accents and not like her. I think that's great, because sometimes you're like, is that fucking, are they doing, as you said, are they trying to do like a fucking, is it British? Is it Scottish? Is it like fucking Newfoundland and Canada kind of thing? I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Wild accent, actually, that one.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for taking us through that, Phil. Yeah. Check it out. House of Dynamite. It's an interesting watch. 3 from Phil, 3.5, 4-ish from me. So yeah. That is the end of this week's podcast. Thanks, as always, for liking, subscribing, sharing, and all of that, and everything in between. And we will be back next week. What's next week? We got a fucking
we've a good run of stuff, I think, coming out. I think Begonia might be next week.
It might be next week.
Yeah, I think that might be next week, and then
Predator. There's just
that. We have a decent run of stuff coming up. So make sure you tune in for those.
Happy days. So we'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy.
Bye bye.